Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking the top power forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM right here on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with Alperen Şengün. We got like 30 power forwards on this list, which I think is a good number. But if there's anybody I left off that you'd like to hear my thoughts on it, power forward, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to let you know. I think Şengün cracks A. Does he crack S at this point is really tough. I think the answer might be yes, but it's really, really close. He is right on that borderline to me when it comes to an S tier power forward. I think I'll leave him A for now, and we'll see if I come back and put him in S, but I don't think I will wind up doing so, because I do have 100 overalls on this list, so I probably won't, actually, because 100 overalls are on this. So because the 100 overalls are on this, and because this list is so stacked, honestly, power forward's a pretty stacked position as well. We're going to have some cards who are still very, very good cards that are lower down on this list, so be willing to keep that in mind. But that kind of starts with a guy like Anthony Davis. I think B tier is fair. He's not as good as Şengün. Şengün has a sped up release. Şengün has better SIGs. Şengün's just a more complete card animation wise. AD's a really good card. He's a great defender, good stats, nice solid release, gonna catch and shoot at a high level, wide open, dunk the ball well, put the ball on the floor, I guess okay. He's not as good as Şengün though, and I don't think Şengün cracks the S tier, so to me, AD doesn't crack the A tier. B tier is pretty fair for him. Bam Adebayo is a worse version of AD, is basically what he is. He is similar as a shot creator, similar as a shooter. I would say his release might actually be a little bit better than AD's, but he's also a couple inches shorter, a couple inches smaller than an Anthony Davis, so that does wind up contributing to, I think, him being a little bit lower on the list just because of the lack of size. At the same time, he's a very solid, good card. You could very much argue him B tier, and honestly, I think I might. I'm seriously tempted to still leave him. But no, I think I'm going to go C. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Ben Wallace can't shoot at all, and he's short. He's an amazing defender, and if he could shoot, I would be fine with him being short. I think he'd be similar to Bam Adebayo, actually, in a lot of ways. But without the ability to shoot the ball, he's just, in a lot of ways, honestly, kind of a liability. So to me, I'm going to put him in the D tier, and that one's not much of a discussion whatsoever. Blake Griffin is more of a small forward than a power forward in my team, but in real life, obviously, he was very much a power forward. Had a great career, and I just don't love Blake's release, in all honesty. Like, he's athletic, and he's a good defender, and he's a good card, I get it, but he's only 6'9", and his release just isn't that great, and I don't see the size or the value or the versatility with this card. He's fine defensively, but not special, not an elite level perimeter defender or anything like that. Good interior defender, sure, off anchor, movable enforcer, post lockdown, rebound chaser is nice, but he's a little small. Good shooting badges and good playmaking badges as well, but not great SIGs, and just overall, I don't love the card. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I think he's okay, but I don't think he's great. I think C tier is fair. I would put both. I think Bam might actually have to get moved up to B potentially, because Chet Holmgren to me feels like C tier is probably fair at this point as well. He is still very usable, still going to catch and shoot at a solid level, still solid enough defensively, still tall at 7'1". That is probably his best overall attribute at this point, but he is weak, very low strength. I feel like he does struggle to compete athletically with some of the playmakers at this point at the power forward position as well. I don't hate the card, but I don't love the card. I think C tier is probably fair. Danilo Gallinari is a catch-and-shoot shooter. He's an okay defender. He's not much as an athlete. He's got decent gold badges and great shooting ability for as a power forward with Hops, but he's a little small. He's not an elite defender by any means in the interior or on the perimeter, to be honest, at this point in the year. I think he, compared to the best of the best, probably has to go D tier, but I will say he's not a horrific card, and he is the worst card that came out in last week's Nebula set, which was a crazy deep set. So I don't know. I feel like when you look at the cards left on this list, he is one of the worst couple left, so I feel like I got to put him in D tier, but I don't despise this Danilo Gallinari card. I'm putting D-Rob S. He's the first S tier on the video, first of a few for sure, but he's a great card. 7'1", shoots the ball at a high level, can put the ball on the floor pretty darn well, does a lot of things really well as a playmaker. Just a great all-around card, in all honesty. He does everything that you kind of would want a power forward to do at a high level. He's not the best playmaker in the world, I guess, would be the one quote-unquote nitpick if you wanted to try to find one, but the size, release, defense, versatility combination that he's got is something that is matched by very, very few power forwards in my team. So, to me, got to put him in S tier. I think DeMarcus Cousins is right there in that S tier discussion as well, but I gotta remember with some 100 overall cards on this list and some of these other top tier guys still to come, I don't think I would put him in the top 5. And if I'm only gonna have 5 or 6 guys in S tier, it's hard because a guy like Şengün or a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, who are great cards, I just don't think they quite crack that top 5. So to me, it's fair to put them both A tier. I like Boogie. He shot creates well, nice release, good behind the back, defensively very good, complete, well-rounded stat and badge-wise. Very, very good card. I am a big, big fan. Dino Radja goes high B for me. If he's fully badged, he might even be A. But as is, I mean, he's a big, long, 7'11" wingspan power forward who is a great defender, a really good finisher. The length and the wingspan really helps him out a lot in a lot of different areas. His versatility defensively is really, really nice. He can play power forward or center, in all honesty, at a high level. And I really like the card. I think B tier, he's high B. He's really, really good for sure. One of the best buyable options in the game at power forward or center. Dirk is S tier. He's 100 overall. I know he basically doesn't exist, but he's an incredible card with top tier animations. His release might not be the best of the best, but it definitely gets the job done. And obviously, he's an incredibly top tier 100 overall card. One of the best in the game for sure. Just a nearly non-existent card as well. So S tier for me. I'm going A for Giannis. I love Giannis. I think he's a great card. I honestly have tried using him on a couple of accounts recently as well, and I have liked the card more than I honestly realized I liked him. So maybe I've been a little low on Giannis, but at the same time, I still don't think he's S tier. His release isn't quite good enough, and he is a great card, but I don't think he has quite good enough animations as a whole, in all honesty, to crack the S tier in my personal opinion. Whereas a guy like Hakeem has better animations than Giannis, more size than Giannis, better release than Giannis. I think he's a better card than Giannis, especially at power forward or center. Hakeem is probably my favorite non-100 overall / dark matter power forward in the game. I really like this card. As much as I like D-Rob, I think Hakeem's even probably better. He's a phenomenal card, does a ton of things well, and I think S tier 100%. Jabari Smith, C or B. Great shooter, great release, makes me want to put B. Missing a little bit in terms of badges, I feel like is the main thing that puts him down towards C for me. And with a guy like Bam in C, I feel like I got to go Jabari in C as well. I'm going lower than I really want to on some of these cards, tier-wise, because I don't want the list to be super top-heavy. We got a bunch of great cards still to come, so I got to go lower with some of these decent options. But like Jabari Smith, it just isn't complete enough badge-wise to really compete with the best at this point. I don't hate the card, but I don't love him either. I think I got to go B for Jaren. Jaren, AD, and Dino are like three of those guys you're just going to see a ton when it comes to free reward bigs, and for very good reason. They're both great cards who do a lot of things well. Or all three of them are great cards to do a lot of things well. Great defenders, athletic, versatile, can shoot the three with solid releases. Big cards. Good player builds. Just do a lot of things well and give you a lot of versatility without having to gamble for, which is very nice. I'm going Cat in lower A. I don't love his release, but he is still a great complete card who is really, really good. But kind of like Giannis, I don't love the release. He's not as complete as a playmaker or nor as a defender as Giannis is, but he's still really, really good and really complete, especially for what you would, I think, expect out of a Karl-Anthony Towns card, because he is very well-rounded and does come with legit defensive ability, great shooting ability, and then he's also got half movable enforcer, which is really nice. Good athleticism. Not a bad card. I think back of A is probably fair. I think Embiid goes B. I just don't like Embiid more than any of these pink diamonds. I don't think he's special. He doesn't dribble well. His release isn't great. I don't know. He's not a card that gets me all that excited at the center position or at the power forward position, especially at power forward, because he's got no playmaking either. Like, I almost want to put him C tier at power forward. And honestly, I might, because he doesn't have any sort of playmaking ability, and I think that kind of matters. So, yes, he's big. Yes, his release, I guess, is decently fast, even if I don't love it. I just don't love the card. I don't know. No playmaking ability whatsoever. I'm going to put C. I think I am. I'm going to stick with it. 100 overall KG is just as good as Dirk. They're very similarly sized. I guess Dirk's like an inch or two taller than KG, but SIGs-wise, very similar. Both of them might not have the best releases in the game, but they have incredibly top-tier animations as giant, incredibly perfect statistical power forwards. Both of them obviously go S tier, are two of the best cards of the game. Kevin Love, great shooter. He's only 6'8". If he was bigger than 6'8", he would definitely be A tier, but because of his lack of size at 6'8", I am going to put him B. He is actually much better as a dunker, playmaker, and defender, I think, than people would, again, expect out of Kevin Love. But to be fair, young Kevin Love was a much more versatile athletic player than older Kevin Love, and especially the Kevin Love that we see now at this age is. But, I mean, Prime K Love was a stud, and this card is very, very good. Really wish he was more like 6'10", because I understand maybe he was 6'8", maybe he's 6'8" in real life, but in his prime, he was listed at 6'10", so we might as well give him that 6'10" frame. I don't know, make him a little better, but regardless. I'm going Aldridge and D tier, just no playmaking ability at power forward. Not a great release. I don't love this card. I'm honestly not even entirely sure if I should have even kept him on this list or put him on this list because he is kind of one of the worst. But I kept him in there, and I guess it gives us another D tier guy. So we're going to put Mr. Aldridge there in the D tier. Odom is great, and I actually really like him at power forward as well. He's 6'10". He's really versatile defensively and super athletic. I really like this card because I think defensively he competes size-wise and interior-wise more than most of the bigger wings in the game do, the 6'10 type small forwards like a KD or whatever. He still doesn't have movable enforcer, which is a very important badge, and almost without that makes me like almost not want to put him in A tier automatically, but I do think he's good enough to squeak in there. Like, he's a really good card. I think he's better than a guy like Moses. Moses is, well, is he better than Moses? Because Moses is definitely going to be a better interior defender. Moses is going to make his impact felt on the defensive end, and I think Moses is better than Cat. So that moves Cat down because of the release. I think Cat definitely gets moved down, actually, looking at this. So I'm putting Moses A for now. I think that's pretty fair because Moses is really, really good defensively. He's got 94 speed as well. He's a big, versatile, elite defensive power forward who, especially if he's badged out with some shooting badges and stuff, is a really good card. Miles Turner's also A tier. He's not quite S, but he's a darn good card. Great release, really good pick and popper, great defender. Maybe not the best playmaker in the world, but definitely a very good spot up option and does a lot of things well. Jokic is top tier for sure, but I think he's like lower top tier, if that makes sense. There's a ton of top tier quote unquote cards at this point. Like, everybody B and up is very good at a competitive level, but I think Jokic is high B. I don't think he goes any higher than this though, simply because I don't love the release quite as much. The SIGs could be maybe a little better. I don't know. I don't like him quite as much as the guys that are above him, and I don't think he quite is on the level to deserve an A tier spot. PJ Brown is not good enough. He is a very good defender, but he's a bit slow, and his release isn't bad, but he's also got a kind of a lower three ball. He's more of a center than he is a power forward. He's a recent card. I included a couple of these recent rush bigs. Unfortunately, though, I don't think PJ Brown is all that great. Kind of just like Ben Wallace, in all honesty. Neither of those cards are all that good in general. Now, Pau Gasol. Pau is good, but is he great? I don't think so. His release is kind of baited. He is a good card. He goes B, but I don't think no, he doesn't actually, because Embiid C, I'm putting Pau C. I don't love this Pau card. I don't know if that's a crazy statement. His release at power forward is not good. He's better at center, just like Embiid is better at center. Both those cards are good cards at center, but at power forward, I don't trust them as playmakers, and I don't trust Pau at all as his release as a shooter. He's not going to get it off consistently enough or quickly enough, especially considering he's not a huge threat off the dribble or anything. So I'm going C for Pau. Tyson's definitely B, and I think he's high B. I think you could legitimately argue him A tier, and I don't think that would be a crazy statement at all. He is one of the best defensive bigs in the game, who also has a really, really nice smooth release. So even though his 3-ball rating is lower, he is still a cash money catch and shoot shooter. And even he could even put the ball on the floor and attack the rim at a super high level, has a couple decent SIGs, and is an elite level dunker. Definitely one of the better free power forwards in the game, maybe the best. Unfortunately not available anymore. I guess Şengün is free, so he's not the best. Şengün is free, and so is Moses. They're both better. But in general, Tyson is a really, really good card, and he's still on my God squad. Still a B tier guy. Dino is S. Or sorry, not Dino. Wemby is S, obviously. He's the best power forward in the game. He's better than the 100 overalls, in all honesty. He is ridiculously OP. That card is unfair. 7-4 with unbelievable animations, and it's just an unfair card. A real shame that he's a gambling-only card because he's the best power forward in the game, and I'd love to use him if I could attain him. Wilt is going to go A. I'm looking at this, and I'm realizing I do want to put one more guy at S tier, but I don't know who it is. Is it Şengün? Is it... I think it's Şengün. Like, SIGs, the SIGs on Şengün are the thing that elevates that card for me because he is so good stat and badge-wise. I mean, he is fast. He's a versatile power forward. He's a very good defender. And he's complete badge-wise, too. But the SIGs and the playmaking ability is really what elevates him for me. And I think having Kobe dribble style, a really good behind the back, great drag back, release on very quick. I really do like that card. I think at power forward specifically, I'm giving him the S tier spot, and I'm putting Wilt in A. As great as Wilt is, he's better at center than power forward, kind of like guys like Embiid and Pau. He's just a better version of those guys, so he's still A tier, and he's still an incredible card at power forward. But to me, I do think his better position is center. And then we got Zebo, who is a great card and does legitimately deserve to crack the A tier. I have not done done gameplay yet with this Zach Randolph card, but I do plan to get y'all gameplay sometime in the next couple of days. 93 speed, 91 3-ball, 95 standing dunk, defensively very good. Pretty complete badge-wise. Could use some playmaking badges upgrade, but outside of that, he's phenomenal. He's an elite interior defender. Pretty good on the perimeter, especially with good defensive stats. Great finisher, like I said, but also a great shooter and can put the ball on the floor. Half blow by, big driver. Pretty decent sigs, MJ dribble style, D-Rose size up. Kobe escape, Trey behind the back, John Wall step back. That's better than decent sigs. That's elite sigs, actually. Not to mention a great fade. Pro 3 fade might be the only, or great release, I should say. Pro 3 fade might be the only real flaw that I see with this card. Overall, he's really good, and he deserves an A-tier spot. And overall, I think this is a very fair tier list. So be interested to hear y'all's thoughts in the comment section down below. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.